Astro D, y'all, is off the chain. That is off the chain, y'all. It's gonna be awesome.
Hey, Astro D.
Hey, I'm in. I'm
You're
in.
in. We're here.
Good to
Hey,
be
Knowledge
here.
Born.
Yes.
So I'm glad that you guys stopped in. This is not the official discussion. We know sometimes like we are all busy and we're reading and then we forget what we read or we misread what we read. This is
Basically.
actually just a preliminary discussion. It is an intro discussion. We have a Zoom coming up. Hey, Phoenix. We have a Zoom coming up next week. It is called Karma, Relationships, and Life. And hey, Shannon Sharp, Shannon Sharp 1212351.
She said the whole
I
shot.
have to like do that because
name.
I can see the name, so I'm excited.
Yeah, they're coming in. They're coming in. They know what
So,
time it is.
exactly. Irrelevance. Okay. Oh, look at me. Look at me reading the small 12-inch font. Like, whoa.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, she said dope topic. Shannon Sharp said dope topic. So I'm just gonna say one more thing and I'm gonna just, pass the baton to D. Yeah, the topic for next week's Zoom is karma, relationships, and life. And it is $20. It is $20. Some of you guys buy drugs that cost more than that. You know what I mean?
Basically.
Like,
you can't get no gram for that. And the eighth is more. You can't get that. So you better, you could do that.
exactly. Like, so hopefully $20. It's a great discussion. It'll be an interactive discussion. So that means like we're gonna be vibing off of each other. So everybody's gonna ask questions. We're gonna offer our commentary. We have specific topics that we're dealing with, and that was my segue to you, D, so you can share some of the topics that we're gonna be discussing.
I know, because if you don't do that, I'm gonna just sit here and grin and look at the names like, yeah, look at you, look at that. So yeah, we're gonna talk about, we're gonna go into basically the basics of what is, to start, what is synastry, right? That's the first one. We're gonna talk about, what is relationship karma, right? And then we're gonna go into twin flames and soulmates, right? What does that look like in the chart? Where can you find that? Where is your soulmate? All right, and we're gonna show you, all right, how to find that and break it down astrologically. All right, and then we're gonna go down the basic misconceptions about synastry and relationships. All right, what is the common themes that people keep, bringing up and thinking that they're gonna get, the synastry is perfect, the relationship's gonna be perfect. We're gonna talk about all that. We're gonna break that down, and starting with what synastry is. What has been your take on the perceptions of what synastry is, Ty? What do you think that people are mainly using synastry for?
People are using synastry to find out exactly how well their chart lines up with somebody else's chart. Yeah. And people usually go into this they have this understanding of synastry, meaning that the better the synastry, the better the experience is going to be with that person. You can have amazing synastry, and synastry is another word. We're going to go into it more obviously in the Zoom, but synastry, just for people who want to get an understanding of the meaning of the word, it's basically astrological compatibility.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So let's just say hypothetically, if D has Mars in Sagittarius and I have Mars in Aries, which is not true. That's hypothetical. That's neither one of us have Mars in those placements. This is just an example. But if D has Mars in Sag and I have Mars in Aries, our Mars would trine one another. Right. And trine is a harmonious aspect, meaning that, Mars, which is action, Mars, which is determination, Mars, which is passion, Mars, which is anger. Right. It would mean that D's Mars and my Mars can be friends. Yeah. D's Mars and my Mars would be able to work well together. So when people are interested in synastry, they want to know, well, how does this placement in my chart line up with this person's placement in their chart? And what we're going to explain in more detail in the Zoom is that you can't guarantee what the experience is going to be just because your Venus trines their Saturn, or their Mars trines your Pluto.
You can't just look at one little thing. And that's another thing that happens. A lot of times people will see an aspect and then they'll go look it up and be like, oh, that's it. That's what the whole theme of the relationship is. When synastry is a calculation of multiple things. You're looking at so many things, and you're looking at constant indicators of something before you officially say, this is what it is. And it's the same thing with natal charts too. You can't just look at one thing in someone's natal chart and be like, oh, that's just who you are. So, you know, and then when we get into, you know, how it can be used, because a lot of times, you know, when I was asking, you know, the first thing that comes to my mind too, when people come to me, it's about love. And I don't mind. I love to talk about love and stuff. But people use synastry for your doctor that's about to do surgery on you, your therapist. You know, do they square your Neptune? Are they deceiving you? You paying all that damn money in the office, and they confusing you, making your problems worse. But had maybe we done some synastry, maybe you could have kind of caught that a little bit. Have you done that?
Absolutely.
Have you ever done that on synastry on random people? You're like, you know what? Let me see your shit before we do whatever.
I think you should do synastry on everything. Like you said, like, are you about to have surgery performed on you by a doctor who has Neptune in the 12th? So he's not even a real doctor.
He's not even, I see it right. He's not even a real, I know that's
he's not even a real doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could really, okay, synastry, and then I'm going to go into a composite chart. So synastry, basically what D just said, you have to look up the synastry of everybody, your next door neighbor, who you're going to be living next to for the next, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. You want to know your synastry with, you know, your neighbor's chart. And that's a lot of work. We know that everybody doesn't have the time to study astrology for like 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. That's what you get an astrologer for. That's what you would call me for. That's what you would call me for, you know, to say, okay, this person's birthday is blah, 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 blah. And then, D, I have to just bring this point up. Not only after you know what's in their chart, you know what's in your chart, now you got to know the transit they're under.
Right.
Now you got to know the transits they're under. You know what I'm saying?
Though? But how you feeling though today? What's going on with you now? I know how you was when you were 15. But what about today when you're about to do whatever you're going to do with me?
Oh, you got Uranus? You got Uranus on your Mars. This person is like snappy today. You wondering why they're like irritable, you know? But an astrologer knows once, okay, this person has Mars, you know, in Taurus at 9 degrees, and today Uranus is 9 degrees of Taurus. So they got Uranus on their Mars. You know what I'm saying? So
they're gonna curse you out.
They're gonna curse you out. So
you try to tippy toe and that shit just pop out.
Exactly. So we're gonna talk about synastry and what you need to know about, and also, like Dee said, to bring it back. And this is gonna be the heart of the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Even after you know the synastry, it doesn't guarantee the experience that you're gonna have with the person, because life is life. You can elaborate on that, Dee.
It does not guarantee just because you see good synastry and just because you see horrible synastry. You know, and this is where we segue into the way we're going to talk about karma. Because this is where, all right, there's these contracts that we have with people, all right? And people, to me, I think, you know, everybody's just passers-by. You're born with yourself, you're going to die with yourself. So everybody's passers-by in that agreement, that commitment that we've made, you know, in the pre-life before we, you know, decided to incarnate here. So that's where the whole karmic thing comes from, where it's like, oh, I have this karmic connection. Ooh, we're going to be together for life. And no, that could have been a weak experience for you. So we're going to talk about, you know, an example of how karma can play out and how to look at it in the chart, how to see, like, did we do this before? Yeah, you know what song I keep listening to? Sidebar. You know that Tina Marie song, Deja Vu? I just keep playing. You know, it just keep playing in my head because it's really like that. If y'all want to understand karma, listen to. I've been here before. Deja Vu from Tina Marie. It kind of works like that. But yeah, discussing how to find karma in the chart. What does it look like between you and another? Have you experienced some karmic relationships? And
my definition, see, that's another thing too. We're gonna, obviously the big head, what is karma? You know what I mean? What is karma? Because I think people have these stereotypical beliefs about karma, like, and if you meet somebody for 5 minutes in the grocery store and they recommend something to you that you needed to know, like say you're looking for something on the shelf and they say, don't get that brand, get this brand. Do you know what I'm saying? And that exchange literally lasted for 30 seconds and you never saw that person ever again. That doesn't mean you didn't have past life karma with that person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can have karma with your dog, your cat.
You have exactly.
Your it's cat just could be coming back like, yeah, I just came here to chill with you, for this lifetime. I don't want to do nothing else. I just want to be your pet. And these are the agreements. You can look at certain angles. We're going to talk about what happens when the planet are on the angles. We're going to mention which angles we look at when we're looking at karmic. Or we're going to wait until...
Yes, because there are specific synastry placements in the chart that will let you know whether or not you knew this person before, whether or not you owe them something that you did not pay them back in a past life. There's places that there's placements that you can look at in the chart and know, like, okay.
Yeah, and then you want to know, does it continue? Does it stop this life? Are we going to keep going into this life, or was it just a past life thing, or should we let it go this life? Because then you're going to look at one angle and then you need to look at another to decide if this is going to keep going, or not. Do we have more work to do? Once I finish that old shit, maybe I got some new shit with you too. And that can be seen in the chart, the whole story. If you can really look at it, you can really tell. And I mean, it'll play out like a movie once you really start to see, like, oh, this is a theme. Okay. We had Leo on our South Node, for example, or Leo in a certain area. We want to describe the past life experience of Leo. This person could have been a king. Maybe they were a celebrity in a past
South Node Leo in the building.
Oh, okay.
South Node Leo in the building.
This is the queen.
Listen, do people think I stumbled on this reality? I've done this. This is light work. I'm supposed to be actually we're going to talk about the nodes, because anytime you talk about fate, destiny, do I know you? Have we done this before? Am I reliving? We have to talk about the north and south node. So I'm just joking around right now, but the truth is, like, the south node is what you've done and where you've been. Like, I'm like being Leo. Even though I'm not a Leo, people know that, like, by the sun sign, but being Leo, doing Leo things, having a Leo mind, that stuff comes natural to me. Leo is the sign of the performer, right? Like, I did it. I'm here to not necessarily abandon Leo, but I'm here to evolve and to incorporate the Aquarius, which is my north node, which is the group. That's everybody. So I, sometimes I have to make decisions that are for the betterment of everyone. And that's like
rulership, y'all. She spread the rulership. First, it was like a little castle kingdom, and now it's the world. Okay, Aquarius. It's the world. For me, my South Node is Scorpio. So it's real natural for me to be paranoid and suspicious and shit. And my North Node is about Taurus. I'm supposed to be for peace. I want some money and peace. Okay? That's what I want to do in my life. But do you know? And somebody told me that, somebody's like, yo, you're here to chill. And I'm like, what? That was so awkward to me. It was so awkward. Whatever is coming to you this life for the North Node is probably the most awkward thing that you could be doing, the most uncomfortable thing to do, because it's brand new-ish. It's new stuff that you're dealing with, that old stuff. And when the new stuff gets uncomfortable and you just start bugging out, that's what I'm saying. For you, Ty, when these people start getting on your nerves and it's too much, you like, no, I'm going back to my queendom. I'm gonna go hide. I'm gonna go hide in my queendom, y'all, and I'm gonna go rule over there because that's comfortable to me.
I'm gonna say hi to some beautiful people. We got some great people coming in. Let me scroll up. Everybody who's in the live, I'm scrolling up because I missed some good questions, and we're gonna go.
Oh yeah, you got some
questions. Up. I can't scroll up. What's going on?
Let me see.
Rap God, appetite for sheep. What's good? These are some amazing people. DJ Static, what's good? New Flow Meditation. Darlie _DS. Caramel Beauty 76. Or is that 26? Or is that 36? I don't fucking know. It's a number. I can't see. I don't know. It's a number. I know somebody 36. You scroll up. OG _Candy Glam. What's good? Traveler's Thread. Gemini Brown in the house. What's good?
I saw that. I was like, yay, Gemini rolling through.
Cameo Thomas, Pisces gang. I see you. Ashaki _sacred healing. What's good? Seth Basir _shoe. I'm just using them as
do that though.
Yo, that is so you know when you go to the eye doctor and you got to read the thing? I'm using the names to test myself.
Okay, test myself. I see you. I see what you're doing. She having an eye test now, y'all.
Okay, but no.
Go for it. Go for it.
But no, the what we were saying was this is all a part of the discussion. We also are going to talk about the 5 misconceptions. Or 10 misconceptions, or 18.
There's a lot. There's probably 20, y'all.
The list is freaking growing. The 5, 10, 20, 800 misconceptions about relationship, astrology, synastry, compatibility, all of that.
Yeah.
The top misconceptions.
Yeah, we want to lead you the right way in this synastry world because, you know, astrology is getting more and more popular. And everybody's, you know, talking about it, but we really want to talk about this in a way that can help people, that you can really help yourselves. I mean, that's my goal. And I know Ty too, you know, as teachers, as astrology teachers and just speakers, it's important. There's a slight responsibility in making sure when you put out information is right and it's useful to people. You know, how can you use this for yourself is the goal at the end of our webinar, you know, when we do the Zoom. How can you use this to elevate yourself? How can you find love? You know, we all want to find it. We all want to find the right person. But where does it start with?
I mean, the hard reality, the harsh reality that is difficult for people to accept when they begin studying astrology is that we live in an organized universe that's not random. So the person that comes to love you in an amazing way, the person that comes to kill you, you had an agreement.
Yeah.
And people have the person that you know, put something in your drink and poisoned you. The person that taught you some of the greatest lessons that you will ever learn in your entire life. You have an agreement. Mm-hmm. And synastry, compatibility, composite charts, which is the calculation of the midpoint between your placements and that person's placements. It's like a mathematical formula. So all of that, composites, synastry, it just pretty much reveals that the universe is organized. And it's
very organized.
The controversy around an organized, structured, planned universe, it frustrates people and it upsets people because everyone believes in free will and everyone believes in quote unquote creating your reality. And the truth of the matter is when the D can, I'm sure, chime in on this, the deeper you go, Gemini Brown, any of these astrologers in the chat, you guys who have studied astrology for years and you're teaching, you know that the deeper you go, the more you're studying and you learn, you're like, none of this shit is random.
Yeah.
None of this is random. So
it's hard. Yeah, it's so tempting to want to, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, we want to say that we have total, complete, utter control over our realities. But there's also something at play that's larger here, you know, and that's these charts. I feel like the chart is always the cards that you're dealt. And, you know, those cards were dealt, you agreed for those cards, just like you agreed for that person to come in. And there's there are moves that you know you have to make. You know, there are, you already know, your higher self knows this, you know.
Traveler's Thread says, and I'm going to read some of the comments. Traveler's Thread said you still have free will though. See, this is a very controversial topic.
It is.
That many astrologers have discussed.
Free will. Somebody made a wonderful point to me that to combine it all together, which I thought was great. And she was mentioning how you have the free will in the perception that you choose to take over what happens. So basically, it's going to rain tomorrow. I can't control, I'm not controlling the weather. It is going to rain. I can decide that I freaking hate the rain, that I hate when it's cloudy, or I can decide, yo, I love the rain. Matter of fact, I'm gonna wear an umbrella because I saw that it was about to rain anyway. So let me get my stuff prepared. Let me not plan this on this day because I know on that day it's gonna rain. This is how I'm gonna conduct myself and take it as this way. So I mean, that's one way that you can add free will into this astrological world.
I look at it like if you're on a playground, on a lot, in a sandbox, right? You're in a sandbox. And I tell you, you can create whatever you want inside that sandbox. You can create whatever you want inside that sandbox. Yeah. But you're not creating outside of that sandbox.
This is the matrix, y'all. We're in the matrix.
You're in the parameters. You're in very structured parameters and laws. You're not going outside of those laws. And your chart is the blueprint that has been assigned to you, that you chose, and it is based upon structured universal principles and laws. Right. There is nothing I don't think that I would be able to do to become a pro NBA player. It wouldn't matter. You're laughing, but like the truth is, like, if that's not in my blueprint, it's not in my blueprint. Like it wouldn't matter if I practice every day. It wouldn't matter if, you know what I mean, if I had a passion, like, I like watching Michael Jordan play. Mm-hmm. And I want to play like that, but I'm not here to do that. It doesn't matter how much of an affinity I have for observing somebody else play basketball successfully. I'm not here to do that. You know what I'm saying? There are things that I know that I know how to do that I can't remember people teaching me. Yeah, which means which means that I either came in this life already having a familiarity. Like there's certain chords that I can play on the piano that I took instruction, but my teacher didn't teach me how to play those chords. It was just like one day I just had a more elaborate understanding of chord building and arrangement. It just came to me. So the South Node in Leo tells me maybe I already... I was just going to say, you could have been Alicia Keys in your past life, girl. Or something, so, you know what I'm saying? So there's some things that come natural to us because it's in the blueprint. So, so you can create what you want. You can use the law of attraction. You can use your magnetism. You can use your intent, your focus, all this stuff. But it works best. And anybody who got a reading from me ever knows this. I tell them that use your meditations, invocations, affirmations, whatever. Use it for your blueprint. Yeah. Use it in alignment. Use it for your blueprint. Don't meditate. Don't meditate on what's not for you. Don't meditate on, but that's why we're having this discussion, because it's about what is for you. Like what is for you. Like, and even in romantic partnerships, you meet a person and it's like, oh, this person is for me. They're for you, but in a certain type of way. And it's about getting realistic about what that
mission is. Another thing we're going to go over and talk about is, you know, how does karma define the relationship? Because sometimes people feel like karma adds longevity to a situation just because
a person can drag you through the fucking mud for 20 years. And if it's heaven to you, then it's heaven. Like if that's heaven to you, right? Like, because your perception of heaven and hell may differ from mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
for sure. And you know, what else is another common misconception about it? Oh, then we also are going to talk about the soulmate connection, because you have the karmic, we did this in the past before, and then you have the soulmate. You are my mirror, you are my inside reflected on the outside. What are those indications we're going to talk about? And even within those indications, once again, you know, does this add to the fact that, oh, this is going to be great? You know, this is going to be absolutely beautiful? It may not. It really may not. It may not be. And that's still what you need. So sometimes we'll see charts and we'll run away from them and say, oh, this looks too hard. And maybe that's exactly what you need right now. That's exactly what is going to take you to the next level of growth. Because that's at the end of the day, that's what we're all here for, is to press those buttons to reflect that inner, whatever whatever's going on inside, just to show you where you are, you know, and to do that work. So somebody said, so looking at these questions here, somebody had there's a lot of great questions.
Yeah, I wanted to scroll back up, and if you can shout one out.
So somebody said, does this go along with the Akashic records? Absolutely. When we're talking about the karmic situations, because, and this is the beautiful thing, there's meditations and there are actual things that you can do to go back into your Akashic records and to go back into what the past life was, right? But one thing that Ty said that I love that she said was, you know, but go with the flow. So you got basically a full moon in your second house. You know, why are you trying to get that lover back? Maybe you should work on manifesting your own self-love during that time, your own value, developing your value, because it's in your second house. So we want to do what's working for us. You know, you want to go towards situations that are going to invoke what you want, really, really invoke that and manifest that. So yeah, I definitely think it goes along with the Akashic records, understanding what that past was and what is the work that you're here to do. I think another misconception with we're going to talk about in synastry charts. I forgot my train of thought. I got distracted. Sorry.
Oh, I'll throw a misconception out there.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one. Like I said, we're going to have a long list of misconceptions. I had 5, D wrote 10, like I wrote 3 more, like we just gonna, but here's one misconception that on the list of misconceptions about relationship, astrology, and compatibility. Just because you put planets in a certain house in their chart, it doesn't mean vice versa, that they put planets in your house. Like, oh, right. you put 3 planets, which is a stellium. You know, everyone knows like stellium means 3 or more planets. Because I say this in every reading, like, oh, you have a stellium, and I tell you the stellium is 3 or more planets. So hypothetically, oh, he puts 3 planets in her 5th house of romance, right? So that means that, oh, he puts 3 planets in my 5th house, but you might not have any planets in the other person's 5th house. Like,
and what does that mean?
It doesn't mean
there's
that
an imbalance here.
It may not mean, like, some of you guys know this. Like, some of you guys, you know, there are people that they tell you, oh, we have a connection, and you're like, let me go check my chart again. Like, what you looking at? What chart are you looking at? Like,
another one is that you could use sun sign compatibility, but I think a lot of people in here already know that that's whack. But it's like, yeah, you could say, oh, I'm a Taurus and you're a Leo, we ain't gonna work. But I mean, what else is going on in that chart? What else is popping? So I think using certain planets to say that it's the whole big picture it's not gonna work. And we're gonna talk about how to get more focused about it when looking at a chart as well. Get more focused Another thing, I think another big question, a lot of people, I feel like I'm kind of repeating this, is it gonna last? Is this something that I can keep? Is there anything that I can do to keep the relationship going? And to be able to still fulfill whatever needs if the other person doesn't want to. Because once again, this is an agreement. So sometimes the other person may not be ready for this. Like, nah, man, this is too much. It's giving me anxiety and shit. I ain't ready to grow. I'm not ready to grow. And they'll leave you there. So what do you do? What do you do? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it.
So basically, like, if you have intentions that don't match the other person's intentions, like, what is the next step to proceed?
What is the next step? Are we messing around with free will now? Are we going to mess around with other people? Are we going to try to influence other people? I remember you were mentioning something about that earlier. Like how people, you know, talking about how people try to mess with people, influence people when they're not around. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I see the chart says that he don't love me, but I'm going to work it out. I'm going to call Miss Juju around the corner. She's going to give me some good stuff and he going to love me. You know, stuff like that. You know, acceptance. Can we accept when a partner, you know, is not for us when we're looking at those house placements? Because like she said, you know, imbalanced house impositions, meaning you got a whole bunch of planets in my fifth, but I have nothing in your fifth. That imbalance is, you're gonna see that come up. I mean, you're gonna see some problems. Somebody's not gonna get their needs met. And that's what those houses are. They're talking about what needs do you have to be filled. And according to the situation, if certain needs aren't filled, then it's not gonna work. If we're doing business and you can't fill my seventh house, then how can we work together?
Or second house or eighth house.
Or
like,
yeah, we share things.
I mean,
are you gonna steal my money? You know, stuff like that. It's stuff that's important, you know, to the relationship. So understanding what's important and understanding how to put the charts together and get your needs met. Somebody said it sounds like a Venus-Neptune affair. One of the worst, one of the most beautiful, worst feelings in the world. It's
Venus-Neptune. Because the relationship only exists in your imagination.
It does, and it's so beautiful in your mind.
We have a connection. What?
I love it. You know, and once again, you know, with that trine making things easy, right? So if somebody even puts a trine to your Venus through Neptune, maybe it's easy for them to deceive you, and it just flows right off your back. You know, you're like, well, this feels good anyway. I know you're lying, but you feel good. Just lie.
Venus-Neptune. Venus-Neptune could be, and that's what we're going to talk about too. It's not going to be an introductory to Astrology 101, but we're going to go over some of the things that I have my glasses on because I'm about to read this question that I have the screen frozen on this question. Appetite for Chic, what's good, girl? Good. I'm about to read the question. Good. But we're not going to go into Astrology 101 and break down keywords and what does Venus mean and what does Pluto mean. Nah. But we're going to like go over some of the definitions and meanings of these signs, the energy signatures, the planets, like Venus-Neptune, for example. Venus-Neptune could be, like Dee said, someone stealing your money. Venus-Neptune could be someone literally deceiving you. Venus-Neptune could be the most ideal relationship in your imagination, the best relationship that you've ever imagined in your life.
I've been there, y'all.
Venus-Neptune could be a relationship that literally exists and then it doesn't. It just up and disappears. Venus-Neptune could be you kissing your lover by the water. Venus-Neptune could be like, you see how this can go on? Like, so we're not going to break down. We're not going to break down every possible different definition of different aspects to a chart, but we're going to go over some things. Because, for example, Venus-Neptune is similar to Venus in the 12th house.
Ooh,
and it's also
side chick. That's the side chick. One. You want to be a side chick? Go up in take your Venus and put it in somebody's 12th house. Ain't nobody gonna see your love. Ain't nobody gonna see you. Yeah.
But not for nothing. Not to go into it. Venus in the 12th, or Venus-Neptune, or Venus-Pisces is also. It's also fated love. It's love that feels very much like fate. Like,
Ooh.
it's like sometimes with people who have Venus in the 12th house, they get in these situations where they feel like the connection is so powerful, but for some reason it cannot materialize. Like they're struggling with it. But let me read this question.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Appetite for Chic says, so if someone gets killed by their boyfriend, that was a contract? Can you find that in the chart? D, what's your answer?
Yeah, I think it was a contract. It absolutely was. Can you find it in the chart? Can you find it in the chart that he's going to kill you? You can find in the chart the potential is there that he will want to at some point. Yeah. Is it because he pulled the trigger? Some would say that's in the chart too. I say that's on the person. What do you think about that if he actually pulls the trigger, Ty?
I think, well, you definitely, like, say, for example, right? That person's Mars squares the woman, like his Mars squares the woman's Pluto, right? Mm-hmm. That's a common transit that, I mean,
or if his Mars is on your ascendant, that's on your body squaring Pluto. So his Mars, right. The knives, guns, that's on your right. physical body. Okay. And then Pluto is destruction, to destroy your physical body through knives, fire, light your ass on fire, something.
Right. So you could see that, but you would have to pay attention to what's happening at that time, what season you're in, what transits are going on. You would also pay attention to, again, like how the synastry is playing out on both charts, both ways. Because Mars, Pluto, let's just say Mars, Pluto is also like sexual passion. Mm-hmm. It's extreme anger. It's also deep self-transformation. So somebody's Pluto is on your Mars, that person more than likely, they might harm you, but more than likely they're going to transform you in a way that like very few people.
Yeah, you're going to change how you move, how you flow, how you see sex, period, will change. How you go about doing your business is going to change. It ain't going to be the same. First, it's going to be some kind of crisis. Pluto brings crisis. So, I don't know. This is a really crazy example, but I don't know. Let's say a woman's Pluto's on a woman's Mars on a man's Pluto, and she finds, hey, listen, you need to take some Viagra. This isn't working. And that's a whole change to his life. Like, what do you mean that's going to break down his ego? That's going to, like, what? But it's a new life change. Is he going to change his life and start to take this Viagra or something like that in order to be able to catch up with her? That's just a really light experience of it. But this person was changed, right, through the Pluto, or vice versa. Really, it's her Pluto. Her Pluto will be coming to his Mars, changing him. So that's one example that I would give if somebody's Pluto. And that's a nice one, I think, compared to some of the things that can happen.
Mars, but I'm looking at some more.
Somebody said, what about Mars, Moon, and Moon conjunctions?
That's domestic violence.
Yeah. Domestic arguing, or y'all better exercise. I always say, we're going to talk about this too, somewhat remedies. How can you flow with the energy, right? How can you flow with someone's moon, Mars on your moon? What do y'all need to do? Yep. Maybe there's certain things you can do to appease the energy. What you about to say, Ty?
Let me fix that. Because somebody somewhere is like, I just put that out there, and somebody's like, wait a minute, my husband's Mars is on my moon. What are you saying? Like, let me correct it.
Okay, fix it.
Okay, all right. Just when we're dealing with elements, shelter, earth, wind, and fire, the other night, when we're dealing with the elements, earth, water, fire, and air, right? So what is Mars? What element is that?
Fire. Yeah, we did
fire. And when you're dealing with the moon, what element is that?
That's water.
Water. What happens when you put fire underneath the water? It boils. It boils. So you're talking about the moon representing our emotions, the moon representing where we live, because it's Cancer. So it's where we live, it's home, it's comfort. Mars is
shaking it up.
Fighting, conflict.
What are you doing here? Just moving, tussling around. They don't want to sit still at your house either. Sit your ass still. They can't. They just want to argue.
And Mars is Aries, right? Mars is Aries. Moon is Cancer. What's the relationship between Aries and Cancer? It's a square.
Square. Yeah, so they don't even like being in that section. You understand, and you can understand how something's going to play when you understand the elements, like she said, break down the element, and that'll let you know. But couldn't that be sexy and passionate attraction? It depends. Depends on the aspects.
And depends on the house it falls in. It depends on the other aspects in the chart as well. I've rarely seen a Mars Moon like synastry thing that worked with people. It's rare. It's rare.
I get nervous when I see people's Mars and I'm like, you're gonna irritate me. You're gonna piss me off. And and I try, like, because that's another thing, trying not to impose on the chart. Right? So when you see something like that, you have to be objective, I think. Looking at these charts, you gotta be objective, because you'll impose that, you'll create that problem. Let's say like Traveler was saying, what if it is a passionate aspect, but you in your mind, astrologer, and you're like, oh, that's aggravation, they're gonna aggravate me, it's a trine, whatever, even if it's a trine, they're gonna aggravate me. And the aspect may not have even wanted to play itself out like that, but you manifested arguing because you were just focused on arguing. So, we're going to argue. I don't want to argue. And what you say you don't want, you get.
Caroline Lamar said, someone's Pluto in Cancer is on my ascendant, and they sure as hell sparked my path towards spirituality after the premium tears, of course. Premium tears. Pluto in Cancer on the ascendant.
Pluto in Cancer. I'm wondering how that first started. I'm curious if there was a moment of, oh shit, can I do this? I always feel like Pluto brings that moment first. Pluto gives you like a hump that you got to pass through if you're ready, because you have to decide you're ready for its transformation. Anytime where Pluto touches, it changes. So if Pluto's touching your first house, Pluto's touching your body. So I'm curious how you felt physically when they were around. I'm curious as to, did they make you feel stronger when you're around them? Did you change? Did you start working out when you met them? I'm curious with that Pluto and Cancer.
They probably had more control over you. They had a lot of control over you, and you didn't,
Ooh. I mean, and it depends on where these houses fall, because this is the area in which you will see that manifest the most. Right. So
somebody said, can you explain how Aquarius and Scorpio square like Brandy and Monica?
Brandy and Monica. We talk about sun sign now. That's a misconception. That's a part of
they do square. I mean, Scorpio holds on and Aquarius is detachment.
They're fixed though. They're both fixed. Stubborn.
They're both fixed. They're fixated. Look, Scorpio is fixed on something. Aquarius is fixed on something, but they're definitely.
I hate getting both moons mad, because it's like, even if it's over, they still gonna stay mad. Just because. Taurus too, but Taurus is exalted. Moon and Taurus is exalted. Everybody on the other fixed moons. Yeah, I wasn't sure because it wasn't planned. I wasn't feeling it at first. But they got to me in a way, and I'm still not completely over it 5 years later. So you wasn't
you ain't gonna be over. You ain't never gonna get over. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Well, see,
no,
I'm not. They changed your life. They changed your life. And there it is. That was the karma. Pluto's also karmic. And I think that's where it is right there. For you to have this conversation right now, for you to say your testimony in this chat, that was the karmic relationship. And that was important. Anytime it's karmic, we usually remember these people for the rest of our lives.
You know what, Caroline? What part of it is it, we don't have time to do this right now, but these are some things I would consider. What is it that you can't get over? Is it the lesson that you learned? Like you still haven't accepted the lesson? Like you still processing the lesson? Or is it just the person? Like you know, I miss the way my cheek felt on this person's cheek. I miss that. Like, is it something like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that there is no right or wrong way to be, like, as a result of your experience. But in terms of now I'm putting on my therapy hat.
Yeah, put it on. Put it on.
I'm putting on my therapy hat.
Yeah. I'm listening.
I think one of the things that may help you is to ask yourself, what is it that I can't get over? What is it that I can't get beyond?
Caroline, because you said, oh, I like that you said that. I like that you said that. Caroline, you said you can't explain it. They feel like they just felt like home, right? So what's your son doing? If this was a male character in your life, what is your son doing? Because when people feel like home, we're thinking of our parents, our upbringing. And this is they call it mommy, daddy issues, whatever. I don't like to call it that. But just that essence of we are bringing home, the past of home, back again in this reality. We're trying to re-experience home. So maybe he reminded you of authority figure that you've had in your life. With that Pluto being there too. So I would look at it like that as well. Every time I say that about a person, you know, I think that like, oh, okay, you remind me of home, something about you is home. You probably got a trait of somebody in my family or an experience that I had, for good or bad. Because, right, sometimes we even try to recreate those traumatic experiences that we had when we were younger. So you remind me of somebody from home, for good or bad. And those connections, yeah, that's hard to let go. That's crack right there. If, you know, as we're working on healing.
And we don't know that person's chart. They might have been a parent to you in a past life. Who knows? Like, that's how deep this goes. That's how deep this can go. You know?
On a side note, like that's really just crazy that you can make that soul agreement with somebody. You say, okay, you my man this lifetime, you're gonna come back as my daddy next lifetime. And you're gonna nurture me differently this life. Like, what, you know, those are just, I guess, maybe some mysteries, but like, what is it about that person that you wanted to do that with this life? You know, instead they're just so drastic on different people. Because I've met people, you know, you and I have a connection. Whose mama you? I was your mama? I might have been your mom. I might have been your mom, yo. And wow.
Mom!
Right. Mama.
But no, not to put it out there, but for example, Dee's mom and dad and my mom and dad are both deceased, right?
Yeah,
so we can see that in the chart. I have a Moon Pluto opposition.
Yeah.
That's a mom who passes away. You know what I'm saying?
Gemini Brown is still in the chat, and I'll never forget this day. We were coming back from Samuel Reynolds. He was doing his classes, you know, where we would get paid and people would come in and get readings from us. And Gemini said it to me. He was looking at my chart. Great astrologer, y'all. He was just like, when your mother passes, your life, I mean, you're going to be a totally different person. I mean, I won't get into the details of it, but just to speak on, you know, the skill and where astrology can take you, he could tell me what the experience was after her passing. And he was absolutely on point with it. Absolutely on point with it. How, you know, it would transform me. So
yeah. Now really quickly, just to put it out there, I'm so glad everybody came in, and I hope you guys come to the Zoom next week. Like I said, $20. Like,
and spread the word to everybody.
Dee, really quickly, what would you see, just for the people, for astrological entertainment, where would you see in a chart, in a composite chart or synergy chart, that somebody used to be your father? Or I would say, you know what I would say? Venus, nodal Saturn, or Venus. I would say a Venus Saturn kind of connection.
Venus Saturn. Mm-hmm.
And I would say maybe it depends. Maybe maybe like the inner planets, maybe the nodes, maybe like the moon north node or moon south node or something.
I say sun south node.
Sun south node.
Thing I would look at, I'm like, oh, that's somebody's daddy. That was your daddy. Sun south node. Or I wouldn't claim it like that. I wouldn't do that. I maybe look at more aspects, but the first thing, you know, and we're going to talk about each planet and what that represents in the South Node and give some examples and stuff. But yeah, the sun there, the first thing I would look at to see if this person was an authority, a parent, father figure. Because sometimes, you know, they weren't our fathers. Like if it's moon, maybe it was your babysitter. Maybe it was somebody that used to cook for you consistently. It could have been a cook. It could have been a chef. It might not have been as intimate as your mom.
Right.
Or if it was the son, yeah, it was an authority figure. Maybe it was a celebrity that you used to look up to. I mean, it could be so many different things, but to start, yeah, that's Sun or Saturn there too. That's grandma. Like it was Saturn moon on my South Node. You my mama, man. My grandmama. You was my
right.
old lady that look up to me.
That nodal contact though, we're gonna really go into that because that's one of the first things that you look at when you're trying to determine whether or not somebody is supposed to be in your life.
Yeah.
Supposed to be in your life. Supposed to be.
Supposed to be. Does the nodes represent purpose? Does Saturn karma represent purpose? We're gonna talk about that. You know, does the relationship need a purpose? We're gonna find out. You want to answer some more questions, or are we about to get out of here?
Maybe like 2 more, and then we'll go. Because
Okay.
I see, I didn't get a chance to scroll and like look.
Yeah, there's so many great questions in here. Y'all gotta write these down and save them for this YouTube. I mean, this live.
Exactly. Maya says, I got an astro reading done in which I found out I have might be has is that has?
Yeah.
Have karma with my father for many lifetimes. Oh, she said, how do you find? So we're gonna go into that. We're gonna go into, okay, so we're gonna go into that. So we'll save that for the Zoom.
Talk about how you describe the karma. How to start your story. What is your story? Karmic story.
Transcendental consciousness.
Beautiful woman on Ty, you the most beautiful woman on the planet.
That's a friend.
Right, Ty.
No.
I like
no,
that.
that's one of my music people. Big supporters for years. Shout to J Wu 72. He's in that Wu family. Throw your dubs up. He's in that Wu family. He's like been one of my supporters like in music for a long time. Like, but I guess
Wu-Tang, right? I'm my bad. If I ain't put up the
Wu-Tang.
Okay.
Wu-Tang is forever. Wu-Tang is forever, yup. I'm trying to scroll up and find one more. There were so many good ones.
Up in New Haven.
Hi, Mahal. I just saw you came in here.
This is cracking me up.
I'm trying to find.
Thank you for the condolences, Transcendent. It is no joke.
One more question. I'm just scrolling like to try to find because there was so many.
The Pluto, because Caroline went back in, she went to describe her relationship. We was interested in that Pluto on the Cancer. So they're actually a female, and my Venus is in Leo, Moon in Aries, and her ascendant is Aries, Moon in Leo. Oh, that's a lot of fire. I'm curious how long that lasted, all that fire. Because sometimes too much fire, and you also have to understand the element that's occurring in the synastry. What element are you guys mostly bringing up? And, you know, on an individual level, can you handle the element that you two both create? So, in a sense, if this person is a watery person and you're a fiery person, and when you guys come together, it's, you know, like I said, you know, you're mostly the fiery person is mostly creating steam in you and mostly creating agitation and the big picture. And it, you know, you got to decide whether you want to fight through it, to push through it. Once again, either push through it or make the decision that, you know what, I'm finished with this. Can you end karma? Can you end karma? Let's talk about it. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk. Can you even end it at all? Or does it change? What happens to karma? Can you, because I know some people will piss you off and you're like, I don't want to see you again. I don't want to see you next lifetime. How do I cut you off for this lifetime and next lifetime? I've wanted to do that. I've wanted to do that, but can you? We're gonna talk.
We definitely gonna talk about it.
Yeah, that's like good news.
Oh, you mean like people talk about cord cutting and all this other stuff? Like,
yeah, is it
we'll
possible?
talk about like cord cutting.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's no right or wrong perspective. I, have, my perspective on that type of stuff, and I know you do too.
Yeah, yeah. And somebody had asked us, this is Western astrology. There are some different rules when discussing Western versus Vedic astrology. I talk about Sun-Venus conjunction. I'm big on the Sun-Venus conjunction. In Vedic astrology, they're like, no, that sun combusts Venus. The sun gonna burn up Venus. That don't work. So just
what do they call that? Kazemi. They call that Kazemi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kazemi.
Mm-hmm.
I
think so with the sun combusts Venus. Jupiter and Venus, right? In Western astrology, Jupiter can expand the gifts of Venus, give you more shit. But in Vedic, they're enemies. Jupiter don't like that, Venus is going to make money off the education. So Jupiter wants to take the moral righteous way when Venus is like trying to be a hoe or whatever. So, not a hoe, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's like Venus is more on the more materialistic and Jupiter is more on the moral side. But once again, I'm just talking about Vedic astrology. So just keep in mind when you're looking up what we talk about and when you reference what we talk about, we are talking about Western astrology, tropical Western. Okay.
I think that we pretty much gave a preview on so it's next week. We sharing it is a Zoom, and somebody asked, can they rewatch it if they miss it? What's the answer?
No, man, it's one time. You gotta take notes.
One time.
Take your notes. Bootleg. If you bootleg, don't sell it. But you can boot whatever you need to do to have that learning reference. But yeah, this is a special event we have for y'all. Just like if you came to come see us somewhere and be the same thing. So I love that. I really love that. The link, where's the link? Where could they find the link, time?
The link to the Zoom?
Yeah, you're gonna put it.
Oh, when you purchase your spot in the session, in the seminar, then you get the link.
Yes, there you go.
And you'll get the link closer to the time.
Yeah, we're gonna have the links ready. We're gonna be advertising it, promoting it. Yeah, they said where we sign up. And if you know what, and some of y'all can email me or Ty if you want to get on the list for when we put it out there and we start, putting out that link. So you guys can email us, DM us, and let us know, hey, yo, put my name on this sucker. Send me the link when you guys have the link ready. How long is the session? We're gonna do about an hour and some change, right? It's gonna go over an hour now. Yeah.
About an hour and some change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I hope this was informative. And it was it's like you said, an intro discussion. So we didn't even really tap the surface, let alone scrape the surface.
We didn't. And y'all, my mouth is big. It was hard to do that. To hold back. It's hard to hold back. And it's the time of the Aries. Literally. That's an Aries.
Yeah. So that's that. Well, I don't see any more questions that I feel like I saw it only makes me I can't scroll that far.
Mm-hmm. People looking for the link.
Oh, Jason, what's good, Jason? What else? Let's see who else is up here.
He's apathetic.
I see Sagittarius Mind. He came in, Jason. Came in as an excellent.
You gotta come in, man. You gotta come into that chat for real. You gotta come to this webinar. I see you breaking down, the issues with your dad. I'm sorry about that, but I definitely would, think you could benefit from this when you come through.
Yeah, we'll probably touch on even we didn't really go into, therapy. And I know people think nowadays that therapy is something you just pour a few drops of water, stir and mix, and then you're getting therapy. We won't have enough time to do that, but really the idea of, like you said, healing certain things, why is it that this scar weighed more than that scar? And like you said, when you heal relationships with you know, your inner masculine or feminine, or your actual mother or father, or the symbol, like the symbology of, yeah, how that can help you. Like we might, you know, we're gonna go into all of that. Like,
yeah. And yeah, you're going to be able to ask questions. Jazz, thank you for asking. Yes, you will absolutely be able to ask questions in that Zoom.
Serotonin, what's good? Mahal, I scrolled up. I did get the chance to scroll up. By way of love. Thanks, everybody. This is, I'm looking forward to this, because I'm looking forward to the interactive component too, meaning that other people share their questions and their stories, and we can kind of like build, you know? I'm looking forward to that.
So yeah, come with the list of your questions. Come with it. Cut and paste that sucker in the chat box. And we're giving it to you. Yeah. Sounds good to me.
So we good? That's it?
I think we good. We're good. Everybody, like I said, share it, share this information. Get the word out. And just link them to us, and we'll let them know where to get these links.
Yeah. What is karma? What is synastry? What is composites? What are the misconceptions of relationship synastry? What is this idea of cord cutting, love spells, ... How does that?
Your soulmate using astrology? What? Come on. How can you find your soulmate using astrology? Y'all gotta show up for that one. All right? We got these calculations.
Mathematical formula to find. Mathematical formula to find that special person.
I guarantee y'all we got you. Yes, the flyer is, I'm gonna make a new flyer. Thank you, Jazz. Jazz is wonderful. Her support is so dope. Yes, we're gonna make a flyer for her to spread it out. You guys getting exclusive-ish right now. Real exclusive. That's what's up. All right.
We're good.
We go.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Have a great night.
Everybody, thank you. See you soon.
AstroDee, y'all, is off the chain. That is off the chain, y'all. It's gonna be awesome.